Song of the year. Thank you.
No. I think your rendition of the Ramones song was the worst version of that song ever done.
It's possible.
Ever.
It doesn't help that I don't remember. Like, even if I could sing a melody, I don't even really remember how that, like, the melody of that song, let alone the lyrics.
All right. We're going to record in 3, 2. Wait a minute. Hold on. I think.
What the fuck?
Oh, yeah. The stream's been going. Audio in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome. Wow, I'm a little too on top of the mic. To episode 65 of the Degenerates Clubhouse. Happy New Year, motherfuckers.
Happy New Year, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you. Where do you go from there?
Sorry, I thought you were going to say something. Fuck.
No, I just want to say Happy New Year, motherfuckers.
Yeah, and what an amazing year it's been. I mean, 2020, a little bit less shitty. Or sorry, 2021 was a little bit less shitty than 2020.
Uh-huh.
So, like, if we could have this at least be a little bit less shitty than 2021 this year,
it'll be an improvement.
We're trending in the right direction.
Yeah.
That's the best you can hope for.
Aaron, good news. We are now ranked 192 in Canada.
Oh, my God. We're coming up, man. You know what? Exactly, right? Like,
moving up 5 spots or I forgot how many spots we moved up.
Yeah, we're still dealing with a global pandemic. The state of Colorado was like literally on fire. But you know what? Fuck all that, people. We're 192 in Canada.
You know what's funny?
Things are going degenerate. It's trending for us.
When we were ranked 197 or 198 or whatever, it was probably like a husband and wife that listened to us in Canada. And
two guys in an ice hut fishing.
Yeah, and all it took was one of them to tell their cousin to hear it. And there's like one more listener and moved us up 5 more spots. That's how awesome we are. We'd like to thank you, Canucks.
Those degenerates are pretty funny, eh?
Eh?
They're like, who?
They're like, don't make fun of us. Sorry.
But you know what? You know who would make fun of us / give us some sort of strange venereal disease if we ever get close to them?
Florida Man.
Correct.
So the headline for this week in Florida Man is, after woman bites tiger truck stop camel, animal given precautionary antibiotics. Let me repeat that because it took me. It was a lot going on. It took my brain a little while to digest all that.
Say it slowly so it can sink in. Just the headline. There's a whole story that unfolds.
After woman bites a tiger truck stop camel.
So just a woman bit a camel. And the camel resides at a truck stop.
Yes.
Perfect.
Then the animal was given precautionary antibiotics. The animal was given, not the woman.
Well, are you sure they're not referring to the woman?
Maybe both.
It's Florida woman, so we can't assume. Let's delve into the story and learn more.
The story goes: a veterinarian can't read today prescribed antibiotics Monday for a camel that lives behind an Iberville Parish truck stop. After a Florida woman told law officers she bit the 600-pound animal's genitalia after it set on her when she and her husband entered its enclosure to retrieve their deaf dog. So, again, that whole paragraph, I could probably break that paragraph down and dissect it. It's already a lot going on. The sheriff's office documents obtained Monday allege Gloria Lancaster, 68, and Edmund Lancaster, 73, let their unleashed dog enter the pen behind the Tiger truck stop at Grosse Tete, 16 miles west of Baton Rouge.
So I missed, but when I read this the first time, that this is an elderly couple, and they're like, "Oh,
they have a deaf dog.
Our deaf dog doesn't get to play with other dogs. We know. We'll let them go play with this giant camel.
Right.
What could go wrong?"
The couple told deputies that the camel attacked the dog without provocation, but the sheriff's office said the couple and their pooch invaded the camel's personal space last Wednesday. Hump day, jokey joke, by shoving it and swatting at it.
Camels are assholes.
I've never been near enough with a camel to say, "Hey, dude, are you cool? You suck." I don't know. Never met one.
Well, I mean, there is that thing about camels spitting. Like
Oh
they
yeah,
will just
yeah.
spit
Wait,
right
isn't
in
that
your
llamas?
face.
I thought that was llamas.
It's the same thing, isn't
One
it?
of them. Anyway, Iberville officials had said Sunday that the Lancasters of Milton, Florida, told the investigators she had to bite the animal's testicles to get it to stand up. Edmund stated that his wife bit the camel's sick private parts in desperation to get the camel off of her as it bit him on the left elbow. After the camel stood up, his wife was able to get free, grab the small dog, and get back outside the fence in a barbed wire fence. Florida shit.
Wow.
Florida shit.
That's amazing. So they let their dog out. It runs into a barbed wire enclosure for, we're gonna say, just an angry spitting camel. And I did look it up. Yes, camels spit, and they spit like straight from their stomachs. So they're just spitting like camel stomach acid at you. But that's not what happened. She didn't get spit in her face. While trying to get the dog, somehow it sat on her head, and she's like, "I know. My only recourse is I gotta go straight for the nutsack, for the camel testicles." But you know what? At that point, do you blame her? If I had a camel sitting in my head, at that point, I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
You're gonna bite whatever's in front of you, and if it just happens to be his nutsack, you bite his nutsack.
You know, the one thing I'm disappointed is that she did not give a description of what the camel's nutsack tasted like.
Yeah, I was trying to figure. So I'm reading ahead in the article. Tiger truck stop manager Pamela Bozier said a veterinarian checked Caspar on Monday, and he appeared to be fine, but was given antibiotics as a precaution. She described the towering animal as a docile, gentle giant. Anyway, yeah.
They didn't want the camel to get infected from Florida woman.
Dude, you don't know where her mouth has been. You don't know if she's bitten other animals' testicles.
Yeah, that's like just a degenerate nature documentary. They're like, among the most poisonous and deadly animals in the world is the Komodo dragon of the. I don't know. There's some islands that they're on, right? Because Komodo dragons have like so much filth and bacteria in their mouth that they're not actually poison. They just bite you and you get infected. And they're like, but right behind the Komodo dragon is Florida woman. Her mouth has been on all manner of beasts and crack pipes.
Oh no!
I would watch that documentary.
Hold on, going back to the age-old question. What if it was her camel?
I still feel like biting the nuts. Maybe if she was just
but
caressing
it's her camel.
that is animal cruelty. Unless it's a really kinky camel.
Oh no, that's what they're into.
The camel just has like one of those like little black leather hats, like biker hats, and like a studs on its neck.
Oh no,
it is a kinky camel.
So that was it for Florida, man. Fucking hell, dude, Jesus Christ.
Dude, if I was in Florida and I stopped at a truck stop and I saw a camel wearing one of those black biker hats and like studs, I'd be like, it's Florida. I'm not surprised or shocked at all.
Yeah, apparently that little gas station had other animals there too. It had like
a whole zoo,
a kangaroo, a bunch of other like.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it wasn't like they had normal animals. They were all kind of like weird ones.
It was a Florida zoo. Yeah. All right.
Fucking Tiger King. They're making part 2. Anyway, moving on to the wonderful world of Reddit.
Yes.
Reddit question number 1. Aaron.
Yes.
What's a conspiracy theory that you 100% believe in?
So I answered this question when I saw it on Reddit, and I thought really hard because I didn't want to buy into any of the normal conspiracy theories that you hear because most of them do seem pretty ridiculous. I don't think the Earth is flat.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of evidence. But the one I came up with, and I was like, you know what? I bet there's some pretty big budget movies that get made purely for the purposes of money laundering. Like, it would be so easy to disguise where money is going on movies because, like, there's so many parts. You're like, oh, yeah, we paid this special effects crew, $10 million, and it's really just some fucker on his laptop, like, because there's just $500 million in drug money that they have to wash and clean, and they're like, yeah, we're just gonna make.
Have you ever seen the movies Get Shorty and or
Yes.
What was the part 2 of it?
Get Shorty Part 2.
No, it was
Get Shorter.
No, God damn you. Anyway, I can't think of it, but it was basically the same fucking movie, just redone with like almost a kind of sort of a different cast, but it was like, oh, it was Be Cool. It was Be Cool was the name of the sequel. But it was like if you watch them, they're like the same thing.
Yeah.
But the kind of sort of loose premise about it is, I guess it's one of these producers or directors of these movies is like a Shylock. So he's like totally like, yeah, he's kind of sort of doing what you're saying. Like you're using the production of a movie, the budget of the movie to kind of funnel money and do.
Well, and have you ever seen the movie The Room?
Which one's that?
So, there was a movie the Disaster Artist made about The Room.
Oh, I know what you're talking. I know I haven't seen those.
So it's
but
just
I know
like it's just a terrible, terrible movie. But it had a budget of $6 million, and you watch it and you're like, how?
Yeah.
Where the fuck did where?
Believe it or not, like some of that equipment costs
Sure.
a shitload of money, and then who knows what salaries and.
But my point was there are many movies that you look at and you're like, they had $100 million budget.
Yeah.
Like where did that go? And there's movies out there, and apparently the people of Reddit, someone in the industry is like, oh yeah, I can confirm this, are just there for the purpose of money laundering. I'm like, yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, I could see that being real. I'd never actually heard of that conspircy theory.
I came up with it.
But yeah, no, I believe it. It sounds credible. It sounds very believable.
Explain Geely. You remember that movie?
Uh-huh.
That's an old one. It was Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. I tried to watch it, and it was actually like fairly well made just in terms of the production quality and cinematography. But it was like a joke where like there's a setup, but there's never any punchline.
Yeah.
Like there was like dialogue, and it seemed like it would get good, but then it was all like the first like intro lines. It's so mundane.
Yeah.
Anyhow, what's your conspiracy theory?
My conspiracy theory that I 100% believe in, and I don't know all the ins and outs, the facts, and but I'm pretty sure Epstein did not hang himself. Like the fucking Clintons or somebody, some connected motherfuckers were like, oh shit.
It was Hillary Clinton herself in tactical gear.
Yeah.
She climbed in.
So that's what I'm saying is like I don't know
the air shaft and she killed him.
But yeah, I think a lot of people can get on board with that conspiracy because of the or whatever the truth is that he hung himself. Like that's what supposedly happened.
Yeah.
But I think like 90% of people that I've heard of are like, yeah, right. Like, no, he didn't kill himself. Like somebody he was hit. Like a hit was put on him.
I would be more apt to believe that he did kill himself, but the circumstances for him to successfully kill himself were created. Like it was like, hey, two guards,
yeah,
you're gonna just not look and like whisper some shit in this guy's ear before you leave about how terrible prison's gonna be, and then turn off the camera so no one sees when he's climbing on top of a stool to off himself. That one I would 100% believe. It's weird to joke about it, but I do like the image of Hillary Clinton crawling through an air vent with like the Black Ops gear on.
SEAL Team 6, fucking Hillary Clinton just fucking climbing with a grappling hook and shit, like all like Batman, and she gets in there, fucking hangs him, and then she's like, all of a sudden she's like Dexter. She's like one of them fucking CSI people. She knows how to.
She's wiping your pencil. Right.
Fucking Hillary.
God damn it, Hillary Clinton. She's everywhere. You gotta watch out. Don't cross her.
She's a crazy bitch, dude. She's like fucking. She's like you didn't see the movie Black Widow, right?
No.
The movie. Okay, like in Black Widow, there's like an order of Black Widows, and they're all women assassins.
She started it. You
know
that?
Hillary Clinton's fucking Russian, dude. She's like the main fucking bitch. Anyway, that's the theory I believe in. Some of the answers on Reddit. Oh, you weren't fucking around.
No, I know.
Aaron was like, Aaron. So he picked the question, and he's like, so my answer is like the most upvoted. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, whatever. And the number one answer is replied by Aaron Jaffe is the user. Aaron the co-host. Some movies that have come out are strictly for money. Oh,
yeah. You don't have to read it. We just talk about this.
Fucking idiot. Yeah, that was the most upvoted fucking answer on Reddit. The number 2, I guess, most upvoted user Ray Anselmo writes, the NBA draft lottery has been fixed numerous times.
Yeah, I can believe that.
I don't know much about the NBA draft lottery, but being fixed, yeah, I could see how even the NFL ones probably are. And
so the NFL is purely based off of score. So that would be a little bit harder to fix. Like, you could have teams throw games at the end of seasons, and that does happen, right? There's teams that just don't play their starters and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the NBA draft is fucking wonky because it's like they're literally picking like ping pong balls out.
Oh.
And it's like something like the lower your record, like the more ping pong balls you have or some bullshit like that. But it's not always the team with the worst record that gets the number one pick. So there is room for fuckery.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I do remember reading that one where people were talking about like there was like one ball that was like cold, so you could put your hand in and feel for the cold ball, which I do that too sometimes. just I'm having my own lottery.
How often are you drawing for the lottery, Aaron?
Once or twice a night.
Jesus Christ.
And I always get the number one pick. It's crazy.
Oh my God. User administrative.670 writes, in the 80s, the U.S. government cut a deal with Saudi Arabia to flood the oil markets, keeping the price of oil below the amount needed by the USSR to develop their own oil fields. In return, we would protect them from military incursions by Iraq and Iran, hence the Gulf Wars, and contributed to the fall of the Soviet Union, who was left without a means to fund military expenditures.
I believe it.
Holy shit.
That could be real.
Yeah. Dude, our government is not, they're not saints. We've done some fucked up shit, you know?
So your conspiracy theory is that we're engaged in fuckery in the Middle East? No
way, Jose.
Not us. We've only gone into the Middle East with the purest of altruistic intentions. We are saints and saviors to the people of the world. Hashtag sarcasm.
I'm trying to find some other kind of fun. I'm just gonna read these other ones. They're some of them aren't like not that funny, I guess. But like, user DMCat12 writes, mattress stores are a money laundering operation.
You know what else could be money laundering operation? Those laundry stores where you go and clean your clothes. You can clean the money too.
You literally take money and throw it in the laundry. Last one I'll read because these are all kind of shitty. User KR shit, or maybe it's KRS hit. I don't know. Your user is kind of fucked up. Amelia Earhart crash landed on Nuku'Maroro, Gardner Island in the South Pacific. 3 years after she disappeared, the British found bones on the island that fit her description.
Okay.
So that's a conspiracy theory?
I guess. Sure.
All right. Well, thanks, Reddit, for a dumb answer there. That was Reddit question number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Reddit question number 2 is, Aaron, what movie scene was so traumatizing to you as a child?
Yeah, this one's easy. I feel like we might have talked about this before, but I remember I was in West Coast Video. That was a small sort of local video chain around where I lived. And I would just purely like pick things off of the cover of the box, right?
Okay.
That's how it was in the olden days, kids. You couldn't stream
pictures.
things. They didn't have like a nice rating system for you, like, oh, like NC-17, you're 11, maybe you shouldn't watch this. Like, and all you had to go off of, there was no Rotten Tomatoes. You just had a little blurb on the back, but I was 11, and I'm like looking at these movies, and my mom goes, oh, yeah, this is a fun one about some guys getting chased down the river. And I'm like, that sounds like a fun adventure one. And that movie was Deliverance.
Yeah.
And
do you think your mom had seen the movie before?
Yes.
And she just like, fuck it.
Yes.
He's got to learn somehow?
No. She literally, so I don't know how my mom's brain works sometimes.
She forgot the butt banging.
She forgot that there was a male-on-male anal rape scene in that movie that I watched when I was 11. And at the end, I mean, I was like, Mom, what the fuck? I mean, I don't think those were my exact words, but that was the gist of it. Like, Mom, why the fuck would you have me watch Deliverance? You recommended this. And she's like, oh, I forgot that part was in there. I'm like, Jesus Christ, how do you forget that that's in,
When we were kids, if my parents would have put on like a movie with like rated R scenes or some shit like that, and they didn't want us to watch it, like they would either tell us to cover our eyes, cover our ears, or like we would fast forward through this part so we wouldn't see it. Like,
dude,
we're here.
Covering your eyes would not have been enough. There's a part he's like, I want you to squeal like a pig. Boy, you got a pretty mouth. Like, oh my God. what the fuck? I mean, it is a truly don't go back and watch. It's not even a good movie. That's the other part. It was like very sort of sensationalized, and it has a place in its culture because there was like a pretty graphic anal rape scene. Like this was not done back in the 80s or 70s or whenever the fuck that movie came out. It's not even good. So like don't watch that.
I think no, isn't it regarded as a pretty good like
it's not. It's not a good movie.
I'm not saying like that's your opinion, man, but like isn't it regarded as like a pretty good movie?
I don't know.
I think it is, but it's been so long since I saw it.
And close second for me was I was at least a little bit older, maybe like 13 or 14, and I saw the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and the description my dad gave me of the Rocky Horror Picture Show was, "Oh yeah, that's a little bit weird." I'm like, "Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Mom. You guys are the worst."
You forgot about the transgender fucking main fucker in the story. Thanks for letting me know.
I mean, that movie made me feel some things. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if it traumatized me as much as it awakened something in me.
Oh no! Oh no! My traumatic scene as a child was Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1. Freddy Krueger coming down like the alley with his like where his arm like he stretched his arms out so his arms just got like super long, and he's like obviously got knives for hands, and he's like scratching the sides of the walls, and you're like, oh fuck, Freddy's coming towards me. And
towards you.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That got a little bit less dramatic all of a sudden. I'm like, I've never seen the Freddy Krueger movie. No, but if there was a scene where he's got his arms out and he's coming, I'm like, wow.
So there's this scene. It's like all dark out. It's all like night, and there's obviously like the smoke machines going off in the background, and Freddy's chasing after this bitch, or I think it's a girl he's chasing after. I don't remember, but like he's walking towards her, and his normal sized arms just all of a sudden he pulls them off horizontally like Jesus pose, and then they start going longer and longer and longer till they're both basically touching the sides of the walls, and he's like scraping in, like obviously like sparks are coming from the walls and shit. And
that traumatized you?
Hell yeah. Well, first of all, I think I was like probably 2, 3, or 4 years old, or whenever that first one came out. I don't remember how old I was when the first one came out. So I was little.
I was about to say, did Freddy then anally rape someone?
No. No, and that, and you know, the whole concept of like Freddy coming to you when you're asleep and you're dreaming and all that shit was like Freddy was a scary fucking dude. And then that, we had like where we lived growing up when I was a kid, we lived in a duplex, and we lived in the back house of the duplex. So we were like right where the alley was, like our backyard was an alley basically. And so the whole thing of like someone coming at you in the dark alley with fucking knives for hands, like that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
You were real young.
Yeah, like I said, I was like
a little baby Mondo.
Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to look up when the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie first came out to like know how old I was, but it was like I think I was like 3 or 4.
You were a Mondo led.
Dude. Yeah. Scary. Some of the answers on Reddit, user Firespark7 writes, "The wolf from Neverending Story." What was his name? Morgrag,
I don't remember.
Morg or something. Yeah, that wolf was kind of scary when I was a kid, but I like Neverending Story because that had a nice, happy ending. I used to think the princess, whatever the
childlike princess.
Yeah, that one. I used to think she was hot. Of course, I was like 10 when that.
Okay, yeah, that's better.
Yeah, when I was 10, I thought she was hot.
Okay.
User Ugly Cute Handsome Boy writes, RoboCop scene where Murphy gets killed by the gang.
Okay.
I remember rewatching RoboCop not too long ago, and that scene was so like obviously the FX crew, like it was so rudimentary. That scene wasn't like, it looks so cheesy. Like just they do the classic, like he gets shot at and he's like and shit's squibs are going off. And
I know I watched RoboCop sometime in the 80s, but it left no impression on me.
Yeah, RoboCop was not scary. User Vintage Vinyl 36 writes, I have a weird vague memory of The Exorcist on at my grandparents' house when I was maybe 3 or 4. Yeah, Exorcist was scary. Watching that in the theater was kind of scary. Let's see. There's some other answers, and another one says Exorcist. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, a lot of these other answers are kind of dumb. Anyway, that was it for Reddit question number 2.
Which brings us to the end of Ask Reddit.
Brings us to the end of Ask Reddit, and Aaron and I wanted to try a Degenerates of the Year awards list of shit from 2021. Now that we're in a new year,
There are a lot of great and terrible things that happened.
mm-hmm.
There were fantastic people and colossal douchebags. There are a lot of things to celebrate and mock from this year, is what I'm trying to get at. And we had to wait until the year ended, because actually, like, one of my of the years came right down to the wire. It was something that happened on the 31st.
Ooh.
But let's jump into it. We have a list of a few things, and our first category was Person of the Year of 2021.
Okay.
Who is your Person of the Year in 2021, Mr. Armando Ramirez?
Mine's gonna be kind of I don't know. It could be you could be say it's a lame answer, but it's not a lame answer.
Okay.
I think the Person of the Year are all the healthcare workers.
Oh, that's a great one.
Holy shit! We like people we don't think of. People we don't think of, like all these people getting COVID and shit, and they're out there like sticking their necks out, and now we got the Omicron fucking thing.
They got to go through it all over again. Like, they thought they were out. They're like, we did it. We came out the other side, because things were really dying down post-vaccine, and then Omicron's like, I don't give a fuck about your vaccine.
Fuck your vaccine. So yeah, I think my answer for the Person of the Year is healthcare workers. If you're a nurse or a doctor and you're out there fighting the good fight, good for you. Thank you. Keep doing your good work. Sorry that we suck and we're not. Sorry we're not following the fucking rules and wearing masks and doing the 6 feet bullshit and getting vaccinated, and we're all getting each other sick because people are still dumb about it.
Oh, good Lord. That was another Reddit post, and this is sort of related to what you're saying. It was so there's a Denver subreddit, and the person basically just said, like, considering that Louisville and Superior are on fire right now, could you please not set off fireworks tonight?
For New Year's?
Yeah. And I just wrote, like, we'll be fine. The last 2 years have showed us that as a country, we're happy to set aside personal gratification in favor of the health and safety of our neighbors. Surely we'll learn from what happened and not have a repeat. But, like, oh my God, thank God it did just start snowing like crazy in Denver. So it would be very hard to set Denver on fire with fireworks. But we could have done it.
So there's, for people that aren't aware of current events in Colorado, there's a massive fire up north.
1,000 homes burned down.
What did you say, like 45 minutes to an hour north of here, give or take?
Yeah.
And Aaron and I went with Bolliker. Shout out to Christian Bolliker.
That's my Person of the Year. No.
We were talking about how had it not been for the like if the snow had come one fucking day earlier, because we got a little bit of snow yesterday, day before, but the fire started like literally the day before that, and it'd been dry. The vegetation and what have you was just like waiting for something to go off, and fires, and people got evacuated, and hopefully Kevin Now's mom's cool. I think she's far enough from it.
Well, she's in that area.
Yeah, she's close to it, but not like in the area. So hopefully,
well, no, I think she lives in Superior.
I thought she was in Louisville.
Oh, you might be right, but anyhow,
she probably has shit air out, like where you can't breathe, and there's probably ashes on everything. Is what she's probably suffering through. At least I hope. I mean, worst case scenario, at least that's. Well, I hope she's breathing in ashes.
But on a happier, well, you know what? I was gonna say on a happier note. No, not really. Actually, on a drab note, my Person of the Year, it's almost more a little bit of like a lifetime achievement award, because my Person of the Year is gonna be Betty White. She didn't quite make it. She was like weeks away from turning 100, and she died just before the end of 2021. But Betty White was amazing, incredibly funny. Like, if anyone you meet was like, oh, I didn't like Betty White, she was a bitch, you just don't talk to that person ever again, and probably report them to the FBI, because they're a serial killer.
Yeah, I don't know much about Betty White, but I do know she's been regarded as like the sweetheart, like a big sweetheart of a person. So
Oh, but she was also very raunchy and like funny and like she was hilarious on roasts. I mean, she had a very sort of sweet elderly grandmother like delivery, and then would just say like the most.
Little devil horns.
Oh,
would
she
sprout.
yeah, she was very funny, and she's like probably one of the few people where when you see the reaction to her death, like everyone universally is like, oh no, not Betty White. So this is just pour one out for Betty White. We took a moment of we tried to take a moment of silence when during our New Year's celebration. We didn't quite succeed, but this is just a show of respect for the great life lived by Betty White. She's my 2021 Person of the Year.
All right. Next category, sir.
Douchebag of the Year.
Am I going to answer first on all of them, or we can take turn? Okay. My douchebag of the year, Jake Paul. Fuck that guy.
He's a douchebag.
You know what I mean? He's definitely. I think he may have surpassed, like in my opinion, the Mayweather douchebaggeriness of like you're watching my fights because you want to see me get knocked out, but I'm gonna keep picking my fights so I just have a win. An opportunity to win.
Well, to be fair, as he should be, he's only had like 5 boxing fights. Like the best professional boxers fight complete cans for their first like 15 to 20 fights.
Yeah.
But to your point, not only is he a douchebag, like he leans into it. It's his brand. His whole thing is like, you want to see me get my head knocked off. That's why you're going to spend $60 for pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Although not so much for his last fight. Fuck you, douchebag. He didn't. His last fight didn't sell well.
That's what I hear. I hear it didn't sell well.
No, it didn't.
I keep hearing about like the name Anderson Silva being thrown out. Like I forget who. Like some other MMA person was like, "Hey, fight Anderson Silva. He's an MMA guy that's new to boxing, just like you are, and he's also been beating people up. He's also a bigger guy. He's been, because Jake's been fighting like relatively smaller guys than him.
Mm-hmm.
I think T Wood weighed like 182, and like
their weights were similar, but yeah, the height and reach. Was
he's just a bigger guy.
But
Yeah,
I support your pick for douchebag of the year. He is a douchebag, and he's been in the news quite a bit for his douchebaggery.
Who's your douchebag of the year?
This might be trivializing what this person did. I mean, this is probably beyond being a douchebag. But man, it has been a rough few days in the neighborhood. My douchebag of the year is the Belmar shooter.
Oh yeah.
So there was a mass shooting in the Belmar Shopping Center, which is very close to where both Armando and I live.
It's like less than a quarter mile away from us.
And I mean, it was a extremely weird and twisted story. Like this guy had published a book about like going out and killing people, and then some of the victims he named he killed were actually named in the book, and so he had some sort of like vendetta. Like he used to own a tattoo shop, and then I guess he went out of business, and then he went around killing people that worked at a tattoo shop. But then he also went into this Hyatt hotel, which is like right in the heart of this shopping center, and killed someone he never met before. And it's just like brings up all this stuff of like, when is this ever going to end, so forth and so on. And just on a really selfish personal level, though, I was like, fucking dude, no, not Belmar. Like, let this like one nice happy place where, I mean, it's got nice Christmas decorations. There's like shops. Like, I like going there. I don't want to look over my shoulder in Belmar all the time. You fucking piece of shit.
So I may have told you this. So if it sounds like I'm repeating it, I'm at least repeating it for the benefit of the degenerates listening to the podcast, if that makes sense. That day, was that a Friday? I think it was Friday, yeah?
Could've
yeah.
been.
So I think it was Friday, like New Year's Eve or whatever. And it may have been earlier. I don't remember when it was. And so anyway, I had a gift card to spend, and I was going to go to that very same shopping outlet that he ended up shooting out. I went there, but not fortunately for me. I woke up that morning. I was like, I shouldn't be lazy today. I should get these errands out of the way, go be productive, and go spend this gift card. Blah 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 blah. So I was just like literally in that same. I went to the Five Below first to see if they had what I needed. Then I ended up going from there to like the general area. But anyway, that had happened literally 4 hours. Like I was there literally 4 hours prior to that craziness going on. And then I went and had dinner that night. I was like, I feel like having a steak. So I went over to Golden. And on my way out there in the freeway, there's a fucking like a bunch of police cars and ambulance and I think a fire truck just like hauling ass on the opposite direction, like heading towards what would be. And then obviously the next morning I read the article or the information and I was like, oh shit, that was like like Aaron said, like that was our backyard. That happened like so close to us. So don't go shooting people, you fucks, douchebag.
And on top of that, I would describe Belmar as sort of like a nice, happy place. That's
Yeah.
the way I think about it. I'm like, oh no,
Yeah.
this douchebag.
Yeah, when I was jogging every morning, like I jogged through a little chunk of that little area of where he went.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on to maybe lighter fare. What is your show of the year, Armando?
Show of the year. So I have shit in memory. I had to go look back at all the movies or shows we've seen together.
Uh-huh.
And my show of the year is Sweet Tooth. And I'll tell you why. Sweet Tooth I think it was made well, and I think it could reach like a pretty wide audience. It could reach like little kids. It could reach to the preteen area. You can be our age, like in the 40s, and still like appreciate and like that show. It has a little bit of that feeling of kind of like when you watched Stranger Things. Like there's a little nostalgia, and we were talking about Neverending Story, like kid-ish shows that bring a little more of that nostalgia feel, and I like that thing about Sweet Tooth. It was well done, and I can't wait for season 2. That was my show of the year.
Yeah, I feel like in general, as a culture, we are very accepting of things that make us feel nostalgic because it's like, yeah, right. This year we have fucking our state's burning down and the hospitals are getting overwhelmed and there's shootings in our backyard. I'm like, yeah, I want to think back to
feel
when I was
good.
10 and like, the world was a happy and friendly place.
How do I feel good?
And you know what? My show of the year is actually very much along that same vein. The whole show is a giant nostalgia bomb. My show of the year, which dropped on December 31st, so technically it counts, Cobra Kai.
I gotta watch season 4. Fuck.
And it's for me though, man. It's the same thing. Where like,
Is that why you wore the shirt, or is that just a coincidence?
I literally was looking for the shirt in the laundry. I'm like, where is it? Fuck, the Cobra Kai shirt. I gotta wear it.
I just noticed it right now too. That's funny.
Well, I think I bought this after season 2 came out, and I still wear it. It's one of my favorite shirts.
It's a fucking great shirt. I want that shirt. I'm gonna get me. I've wanted the original Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai never dies. Let's go.
Yeah.
Even though Cobra Kai is now like the principal antagonist in season 4.
Don't ruin season 4, you cocksucker. I haven't seen season 4.
But the whole thing, and I when we reviewed it after whatever season 2 or season 3 came out,
3.
the thing I love about it is they lean really hard into the nostalgia aspect, but they're very like in on the joke when they're doing it.
Yeah.
But they've also managed to make the show so much more nuanced than the Karate Kid or really any 80s movies, where it's like you have these very flawed characters where no one's really right and no one's really wrong exactly. And most of them are just kind of trying to do their best and fucking up a lot. And there's characters that you can really root for, and you're like, oh fuck, I could see myself making that same mistake. But then when they do have their moments, and almost every character does have a moment to shine, you're like, fuck yeah, let's go. Like, you know, no spoilers, but the mix of nostalgia and the sort of like 80s vibes, and then these characters that you can root for, like trying to do their best, fucking up. I don't know. It is a show that like makes me happy when I watch it. That is my show of the year. Armando.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch season 4. I'm envious.
It's coming. You'll be able to get it soon on your completely legal streaming platform. What was your movie of the year?
Movie of the year, man. You know what? I was there. It feels like there wasn't a lot of new movies released this year, and understandably so, with like a lot of production being halted and stuff like that. But I felt like most recently, like Dune stood out for me as like the movie of the year because it had kind of a little bit something for everybody. It had the lovey-dovey stuff. It had like the sci-fi action shit for guys that like, you know, that. It was a remake, so I kind of knew what to make of the plot, what was going to happen. Um, star-studded cast too. Like the cast is like holy shit. Like a bunch of A-listers. Even though he was on there for a short period, like Oscar Isaac's a fucking amazing actor. Yeah, a bunch of good actors. Timothy Chalamet or whatever the fuck his name. Timothy, whatever his name is.
I think that's how you pronounce it. You nailed it.
Timothy.
Yeah, I really ended up liking that movie. The first whatever it was, 60 minutes is extremely slow, and then the last 90 minutes, everything happens.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to. There's obviously going to be a part 2. They might just keep making those Dune movies.
They should. I hope they do.
That book was dubbed as sort of like unfilmable. They're like, there's no way you could make this into a movie, and like, no, they fucking did it.
Yeah,
they did a great job.
I want to see what Javier Bardem's character does in part 2. He seems like a badass.
Okay,
Javier Bardem's character, whatever his name, he's the guy that spit like. That's how we say hello or whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna give a runner up.
Oh, okay.
Just because my movie of the year, it's like people are not going to be surprised. But my runner up, I'm going to say it technically was 2021 because its international release was 2021. It's a little movie called Palm Springs.
Did I watch that one?
Probably not. And that's why I'm saying it, because I think there are a lot of people have not heard of this movie. And the conceit of it is it takes place at a wedding. And these two like wedding guests, a male and female wedding guest, get stuck in a sort of Groundhog Day.
I did see that one.
Time loop.
Yeah, you know who recommended it to me was Zach Steckline. Zach was like, "Dude, you should check this movie out." And so I watched it. Yeah, I've seen that movie.
Zach Steckline is a man of fine taste and culture, so I'm not surprised.
Shout out to Zach Steckline. We're giving shout outs to a lot of our Lancer brothers.
Yeah, he's also our 2021 Person of the Year. Him, Christian Bolliker, Betty White, and the Frontline Workers. All of them, just 21 People of the Year. That's a really good movie. And speaking of things, if you just want a movie where you're gonna laugh, you're gonna probably end up feeling good when you watch it, that would be a great pick. But the movie I saw this year, which I think a lot of people shared in this feeling because it triggered the nostalgia hardcore, was Spider-Man No Way Home. And I was surprised, man. I think like a lot of people, I've had a little bit of Marvel fatigue. There's a lot of stuff I'm just not watching. You were talking about the Black Widow movie. I'm like, nah, I don't need to see that.
Oh, dude, the Florence Pugh.
Yeah, no, I don't need to see it. I'm fine.
She's a booty licker.
Did not particularly care for Hawkeye. That's just me. But like, whatever.
Wait, Hawkeye or Hot Guy?
Both of them. But even the things in Spider-Man that you kind of knew were going to happen, when it did happen, it was so well done. I was like, oh, let's go. And it wasn't, by the way, not a happy movie, but I left that movie feeling like I'd seen like the most amazing magic trick, right? Like there was definitely some misdirection. We're like, the CGI is a little shitty here. We had to rush things. Oh, the plot line was a little, but like, everything was well done enough where, like, when you left, I'm like, how the fuck did they pull that off?
Yeah.
Like, there was, like, Spider-Man from, like, 3 different eras, but they were all there and, like, all this... Spoiler.
Yeah. If you haven't already seen it, suck it. It's your fault.
But, I mean, I'm not going to say any more than that, but to me, it was almost crazier in a way that they pulled that movie off. Because, like the Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame, that was a huge achievement. They'd been building up to that for more than a decade.
Yeah.
All these different movies and storylines and everything converging. But like Spider-Man, they fucking pulled that out of thin air.
Yeah.
They were just like, oh, what if we somehow co-opted these other franchises and these other characters and like somehow we get it all together in one movie in like a cohesive plot. And then the performances in that movie were great, like the nostalgia moments, and it tugs at your heartstring. There's parts where you're like, oh wow, I didn't think I was gonna be legitimately sad when this happened. Holy shit! So Spider-Man No Way Home, man, it's a wild ride.
I think that movie, like if you felt like the Tobey Maguire era of Spider-Man movies was the best, you could watch this movie and still appreciate. You'd be like, oh fuck yeah! Or if you thought the Andrew Garfield's version was the best, you could watch this and like, oh my god, this is so. It does a very good job of paying Like kudos, thumbs up to no matter which original Spider-Man you preferred. Like it's a high five. It's like, yeah, fuck yeah. It's a really they did a good job. For sure. I think yeah.
Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on to a serious category now.
Ooh.
We've been talking about these trivial things like movies and shows, but let's get down to brass tacks, Armando. Who is your thirst trap of the year?
Dude, I don't follow a lot of thirst trap type of chicks like online on social media or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I did happen to follow this one like years ago because she was a hometown girl. Kay Hansen, the MMA fighter. So when I first saw her fight in the UFC, I don't know if it was Joe Rogan or somebody said she was originally from Whittier, California. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, I want to follow this chick's career. So I added her on my Instagram, 2 years ago or whenever she first fought. Very sweet, like innocent hometown girl. Like she was like totally like, I'm here to be a fighter and that's all I'm here for. And that was like how she was introduced to me when I first saw her. You look at her Instagram shit now, she's like, she'll wear shit where it's like, she's got piercings under her, little boobies. Like she wears shit that's like, and then she's got an OnlyFans now. She'll wear these like skimpy like swimsuits where it's like, I could almost see her vagina lips. Like it's so, but she's now, at some point she decided to turn a corner.
Hey, God gave her those vagina lips. It's natural and fine.
Sure. At some point she decided to turn the corner and be like, fuck this. I got to lean into the sex appeal stuff too, to make more money, more revenue, whatever. But dude, she went from like the innocent, like in my point of view, like innocent schoolgirl to like, fuck this shit. Look at my butt cheeks. And I like the butt cheeks.
Wait, hold on. I have to look up. What is
Kay Hansen? Kay.
No.
Oh.
I know who she is, but when I went to her Instagram page, and because I remember her being kind of like religious, so it was Kay Hansen, UFC fighter, Psalm 46:5. I'm like, what is that? And then I looked it up. I'm like, God is within her. She will not fail. God will help her at break of day. I'm like, that's right, God. You got that lighting on that little nipple shot just perfect.
Yeah,
you created that sunrise, God, that made that lighting
look at that
outstanding.
Shit. I'm there. Look at that shit. Look at that. She's like, hey, look at my little boobies and my
Yeah.
Like,
I think
Merry Christmas.
I think the female
Look at that.
UFC
Jesus.
fighters as a whole got the memo of like, hey, like just kind of hoard up a little bit on Instagram. Get those followers, girls.
Yeah.
Okay, my thirst trap of the year. I follow more than one sort of thirst trap-ish account. Not a ton. I probably have maybe like 5.
Strictly for research purposes for this segment, not for any other reasons.
No, I'm not gonna lie. So usually it's because there's like something else I'm interested in.
Okay.
And like there's one where there's a really good like free climber, like mountain climber.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm not talking about like what I'm doing. I'm just hiking up mountains. Like she's like climbing fucking rock faces.
Uh-huh.
But her Instagram account, complete thirst trap. But my thirst trap of the year is actually going to be Alexandria Daddario.
I know who she is.
In White Lotus. Well, and you know what?
She's in White Lotus.
And here's the thing. She's been I think a thirst trap in many other films, and I've never been taken in by her feminine wiles. I believe she was in the Baywatch remake. Never saw it. I'm like, whatever. Like I don't. But White Lotus was a pretty good show. I don't know if it was exactly my cup of tea, but her character was just put there as a thirst trap. That was her character's both in the context of the show and then in them trying to sell the show and get people to watch it. They're like, Alexandria Daddario, this is your role, and she fulfilled it magnificently. I don't know if I would have finished watching that show if she was not in it. And
yeah, she the first stuff I ever saw her in was the Lightning Thief movies, and you watch that Percy Jackson shit, and you're like, oh, okay, she's kind of a cutie, even though she's like fucking 14 years old in it, whatever. And now that she's older, dude, she 175% is leaning into like, look at my giant knockers, and she's got a curve. She's got the nice curves and everything, but she's like, if you really want to see some crazy shit on her, watch the TV show True Detective season 1. Season 2 sucks nutsack.
Okay.
But she's in season 1, and she like full on. She like plays like Woody Harrelson's like side piece.
Oh.
So there's like this big age gap, but she's like, fuck it, I'm gonna blow this guy, and she gets pretty raunchy in it. But
Okay.
but she's since then I still like I lost all of that kind of like she's innocent. Like she went straight like, look at my titties, look at my nipples.
Well, the only thing I think I've ever seen her in was White Lotus. Her character was not like overly sexualized, except for the fact that it's a fucking like Hawaii resort and she's in a bathing suit. And I'm like, you know what, White Lotus, I appreciate what you're doing for me here. That's my 2021 thirst trap of the year. Moving on, Armando.
Hey, real quick, shout out to Greg Davison and shout out to
That's Mondo's thirst trap of the year.
Oh, hold
Greg
on.
Davidson.
I just looked
Wow.
because I just decided to join our Facebook live chat just to see what people are saying about us.
We have a Facebook live chat?
Yeah, if you go on our Degenerates,
Okay.
or if you not Facebook, YouTube. If you go to YouTube channel, you can talk to us on there. And my mom says hi, and Grego says hi.
Yeah, what's up, Greg?
What's up, Greg Davison? I just wanted to say that.
All right, so now our 21 person of the year, now firmly in first place, Greg Davidson for coming on our. So it goes Greg Davidson, the frontline healthcare workers, Christian Bolliker, Betty White, and then who was the other one? We had one more. Oh, Zach Steckline for his amazing taste and fine culture.
Yeah.
Those are our 21 people of the year. This list is growing
Yeah.
as the episode progresses.
And all you have to do is say hi to us on our YouTube channel. Go figure.
Armando, who is your athlete of the year?
I'm 110% going to say this is all bias on my behalf.
That's fine. It's your list, man.
Justin motherfucking Herbert, quarterback for the Los Angeles Chargers, blowing out records left, right, and center of all these motherfucking fools, schooling them, being like he's setting a ton of records for a quarterback, especially he's only in his sophomore year in the NFL. If it weren't for him, I feel like he's literally carrying our team on his back. That could be a good thing or a bad thing because when he makes mistakes, we tend to lose. But I think if there were more pieces around him, we could be a fucking championship contender team. Fuck yeah, Justin Herbert. Little known fact, if you're not a Justin Herbert fan, when he was a child, you know how like when you're a kid, like you're in kindergarten, you write like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Blah, blah, blah.
I wrote the quarterback for the San Diego Chargers, which is weird.
Fuck
like
you.
that, because I grew up in Philadelphia, and they're like, why the Chargers? I'm like, I don't know.
Anyway,
it's my destiny.
Aaron decided to ruin my fun fact, but he literally was like, when he was like 5 years old, wrote down, I want to be a quarterback for the San Diego Chargers. And look at him now. He's a quarterback for the Los Angeles Chargers. Even better.
Fuck, he made it. I only got to be a quarterback for the Browns. It's not the same.
All right. What's your answer?
My 2020 athlete of the year. And I'm a little bit late to the party on this one,
Okay.
but is Steph Curry. Because I haven't followed or even watched basketball at all for a long time, right? Like probably since like the 90s. And I've started watching basketball a little bit this year. I'm like, what the fuck happened to the game? Like, it's completely different. And I'm like, wow, this motherfucker Steph Curry just figured out a complete hack.
Yeah.
Like, it used to be like, oh, you have to like drive to the paint and you have to like do all these moves and you got to post up. And Steph Curry's like, I'm going to just skip all that. I'm just going to throw the ball in from really far away. People are like, what?
And it makes more points? What?
You can't do that. Like, he's going to, you got to guard him like when he's on the bench.
Yeah.
He shoots from so far. And the thing is, this is what I think happened. I think, so the head coach of the Golden State Warriors, the coach that basically facilitated for Steph, because there's a lot of teams like that he wouldn't have been as good on. But this guy is Steve Kerr, and he was a member of the Bulls dynasty teams, like where like the Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman Bulls had a three-peat. And his role was to be this little white guard who could just pop threes occasionally when they needed it. But that wasn't as big of a factor in the game back then. Like it was Michael Jordan dunking, like the whole thing. That was where the game was at that point. I think Steve Kerr was like, if I just shoot 34%, and from three, I'm going to put, more points in more efficiently than Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan only shot 50%. He's like, you know what? One day I'm going to become a head coach, and I'm just going to find a bunch of like little like guys that can shoot threes and run around really good. And like, I'm going to, like, the main one, it's going to be like me, but like I want him to be like cooler and black. So my name's Steve Kerr. So I'll find Steph Curry. Oh my God. That was the part where my mind kind of blew up, where I'm like, oh my God, wait, it's Steve Kerr is the head coach, and then he found Steph Curry. It's too perfect. And they just broke basketball. They're just like, we're just going to skip all this like giant centers and like post moves and all this shit. We're just going to throw the ball in from way far away, and there's nothing anyone can do to stop us.
Very good. Very good.
My athlete of the year. I think even more prestigious of someone who really works it, who uses their body to their full potential, more so than even athlete of the year. We're going to give an award for MILF of the year. This was Armando's category.
MILF of the year is my category.
I support it. Who is your MILF of the year, Armando?
She's technically a MILF because she's currently with child.
Okay.
Doesn't have children yet, but currently with child.
So she's, if she lives in Texas, she's 100% a MILF.
What?
So don't know.
Oh, got it. Took me a second. MILF of the year, Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, she's with child?
Oh, she's pregnant.
Who's child?
Some actor guy probably. I don't fucking know. Or some guy that has a lot of money. I don't know.
Okay.
Someone more important than me. So she's been out of the limelight for a while. I don't know why. I don't know if it's.
Well, she's a movie out right now, but yeah.
Well, outside of that movie, she was kind of out of that limelight, like out of the public scene. I think it was because of the nudie picture stuff that she was kind of.
Yeah, that kind of fucked her up a little bit.
But
understandable.
But so she came out and she's doing all this publicity for the movie she's out in right now, and like I forget what the question was, but she's like, or like the question may have been like, what have you been doing all year? And she's like, I've been having a lot of sex this year, trying to get pregnant, obviously. So she's knocked up, dude. Yeah, she's still hot.
Might I add? I know that the whole, what was it called? There was a name for it, like something gate, but like with the huge leak, there was a name, whatever.
Spygate.
No, maybe Fapgate.
Oh, the fappening, not gate. The fappening.
The fappening.
That's what it was called.
Yeah. So when that happened, I kind of skipped that whole thing, and she was talking about, like, in an interview for this movie Don't Look Up that she's in on Netflix. I wouldn't recommend it. I haven't seen it. Whatever. But she was talking about how like that whole thing like really kind of fucked with her, and she wanted to just take a step back and get away from it. And this is some degenerate shit right here. I was like, wow, that is really fucked up. Like, man, that has to screw with the person having all that stuff out there. Man, I've never seen it. I got to just for research, so I can fully understand, why she feels so traumatized. I just need to investigate for science. And I did. I'm like, man, you've got nothing to be ashamed of, Jennifer Lawrence. I could see where this is a huge violation of your privacy, and I won't look at it again. Probably not. Unless I'm really lonely.
I've seen it a million times, and I'm not tired of it.
Okay, my MILF of the year is going to go to Elizabeth Hurley.
Elizabeth Hurley, she's hot. She's
hot.
hot.
But here's the here's why I give her MILF of the year. The front page of Yahoo is populated, I'm sure, by algorithms, and they give you quote unquote news stories, and it's just like the dumbest shit. It was the dumbest, most clickbaity, whatever it is. If it's politics, if it's sports, it's just the stupidest headlines ever, where it's like, oh, click on us. And I keep getting ones where it's like, Elizabeth Hurley takes scandalous bikini photo on the beach, and like every week these come up. I'm like, Yahoo, you stupid fucks, this isn't a news story, stop it. Okay, I have to click on it though. let me just see. Just again for science, I have to properly gauge how stupid and clickbaity this headline is. Oh, wow, okay, wow, she does look really good for. I think she's like 60 now. She is gorgeous, and she's just fully leaning into her Instagram account. And you know what? God bless you, Elizabeth Hurley.
We appreciate it.
You're doing the Lord's work, and every time those articles pop up, I'm like, this is the dumbest shit. Who would click on this? Okay, well, I'm just real quick. This is the last time, I swear. And then next week they'll be like, Elizabeth Hurley like covers her nipples on Instagram. I'm like, oh wait, she covered her what did she cover it with? I have to know just for research purposes again. So that is my MILF of the year. And we have our last category, Mondo.
Okay.
What is your fuck up of the year? It could be personal, it could be global, but what is your fuck up of the year?
My fuck up of the year is a person, and I can't pronounce her name, but Ghislaine Maxwell or Ghislaine Maxwell, whatever,
Yes.
Epstein's girlfriend. Ha, dumb bitch, you got in trouble, you fucking idiot. Hopefully the rest of you assholes that were involved with all that shit get into some deep shit too. But
she's a straight up sociopath.
yeah.
The part where I didn't really closely follow her whole trial, but there was one part where like a kind of a fluff story came out where apparently, so you're not allowed to photograph in the courtroom, right?
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason. And so that's why there's been this long tradition of courtroom sketch artists
Mm-hmm.
where like they'll sit there and they'll sketch what's going on. Just I don't know. So articles and things can have pictures. And there's this one photo of the sketch artist sketching Ghislaine or whatever the fuck it is, sketching her back. Like this fucking twisted bitch was like, no. I'm still in, even though I'm about to go to jail for doing all this. I mean, basically like sex trafficking, like recruiting young girls to be part of this creepy ass billionaire's harem. I'm still in control, and you don't sketch me.
Yeah.
I sketch you. It's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, you fuck up.
What to see you next Tuesday?
So my well, don't worry. Hillary Clinton is going to be wriggling through the air vents pretty soon, and we will not be shocked if her stay in prison after her conviction is a short one, because Hillary Clinton's on the case in her tactical gear.
SEAL Team 7.
What was that like stealth video game? Remember the one where
Metal Gear Solid.
not that one, but sure. Let's say Hillary Clinton, aka Solid Snake,
Yeah.
going into the prison air vents to get the job done. So she will probably not be the fuck up of the year of 2022, because Hillary Clinton's going to dispose of her. But my fuck up of the year, I couldn't think of anything, and I just come up with my MILF of the year, who was Liz Hurley. And do you remember? So you've seen Austin Powers, I'm sure, right?
Yes.
Do you remember I believe it was the first Austin Powers, he's driving like this like little golf cart thing down at this really narrow tunnel, and he has to turn around, and he's just like backing up forward. It was like the 28-point turn.
Yeah.
So my fuck up of the year is that essentially happened in the Suez Canal with a cargo ship, where like it just got turned sideways. And like they were basically trying to do the Austin Powers scene of like back up.
Did the currents fuck it up so it went horizontally, or did someone just was like, I think this is how we're gonna bust a U-turn in the middle of it?
I mean, regardless of the currents, it's a canal.
Yeah.
Somebody steering that ship fucked up.
Yeah.
And it got twisted sideways, and they couldn't they were literally trying to Austin Powers this like massive, like I think it was supposed to be like one of the largest cargo ships in the entire world.
Yeah.
They're trying to Austin Powers this fucking thing out of the Suez Canal, which is like one of the primary like waterways for trading and cargo and shipping and everything. And this fucking thing was blocked up for 6 days.
Nice.
As they tried to Austin Powers this massive ship back and forward. And I just kind of like pictured Austin Powers driving that thing, be like, oh shit, I'm sorry, okay, front, okay, back. And so that was my fuck up of the year.
We are out of time. We are well over an hour into our little recording. It was a good one. We hope you guys enjoyed the New Year episode. We will talk to you guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you guys in a week. Do you have anything else you want to add before I?
Yeah, once again, just shout out to my people of the year: Greg Davidson, Person of the Year, Betty White, Frontline Workers, Zach Steckline, in that order. Oh, and Christian Bolliker.
Oh yeah, Bolliker. Don't forget Bolliker. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching and all that good stuff. We will talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Peace out.